Survival of the fittest. Background. Two friends, online friends, were talking on a call for at least 2 hours. Their company generally made it seem like time slowed when they engaged with each other, though they didn't mind. All that mattered to them was that they were spending time with their best friend. Heck, not even best friends. They were practically sisters. One of the names of the girls was Agnes, so after the call, Agnes went searching around for a place, hopefully better than where she's at right now. Staying in one spot is risky, so she went around staying in the corners and shadows of tall buildings, trying to avoid socializing with others. On the other hand, Phoenix stayed quiet in their house. It was quiet. It was always quiet. Their mom had always worked alone in the living room. But now, it was too quiet, which invoked the inquisitive part of their mind. They began looking around the house for Mother, every square inch in every room, searching every crevice. She was gone. Phoenix wondered where their mom went, but that was the least of their worries, now concerned with what was going to happen to her. Agnes had no contact with her family at all. All she remembers is her desperately trying to save them before they got murdered. It was a while since she's seen them. All this time she's been getting flashbacks of her mother and father telling her to run as fast as she can. Her siblings were already doing that, didn't hesitate at all. She had no other choice but to listen. She started running, but took one last look of her parents before she saw them get stabbed. That trauma has taught her to be careful who you trust. Phoenix, now realizing the house was completely empty, decided to hoard anything they could get that will let them get by for a few moments. Grabbing a backpack, they stuffed it with sustenance, clothes, and a weapon from the basement that they held with pride. Not a moment later, they slammed the front door behind them, and they embarked on a journey that will certainly prove challenging. They looked around as the streets were bare-ridden of people, becoming increasingly anxious of what was truly happening throughout their neighborhood. They only prayed that their parents were safe, and that they would be able to find them. Since Agnes was given little instructions from her parents, she was unprepared, and she didn't know what to do, besides to keep walking. A normal person would stop and ask the little girl if she was okay, and would help her find her parents, but too bad. Her parents were dead, and the only person who was close to her was her online friend. And come to think of it, that's incredibly sad. So many thoughts were going on in her head because she was young to experience all of this. The best thing she could do is stay hidden, keep moving, and try to stay as positive as she can. Phoenix thought about heading over to the nearest gas station, although they already had the supplies that they needed. They didn't know why, but it just seemed necessary to pass by and check if there were any remaining survivors. Barely any cars drove through the streets. It was dead silent, a ghost town, if you will. Phoenix crossed the street and their destination lay right in front of them. They walked through the door looking for any stragglers trying to get food for themselves. They found nothing of the sort. They found nothing of the sort until they ran up and down the aisles. Agnes soon got tired of walking for a while. She then looked for a place where she can find any useful items for herself. To her surprise, there was a gas station on the other side of the road. She looked to her left and right, but in her situation right now, there were barely any cars, so there was no point. She still crossed the road with caution, and the closer she got, the more she saw something move inside the gas station. Was it another person? Should I still go inside? was what she was thinking. She was nervous of the consequences of what might happen to her, but she still went in anyway. Browsing the aisles, Phoenix found nothing. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. They were just on their way of leaving, but as soon as they stepped out of the station, something had unexpectedly knocked them back. Phoenix quickly got up and held their axe to the person's neck. No, wait. They weren't like that. They weren't insane. They instead lowered their axe and stepped back, lending them a hand. Sorry. I really need to pay attention where I'm going, Phoenix had said. Phoenix studied the girl, slightly shorter than her, malnourished, tired. Are you all right? Agnes was terrified and flinched. But this person seemed surprisingly normal. The axe that was to her neck was just an act of self-defense. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you, she said. She then looked up and saw the person reach out their hand to help, and Agnes took it. With their help, the girl stood up, still trembling from the fact that Phoenix wielded an axe freely. Didn't mean to scare ya. So, what brings you to these parts? I needed to find supplies for myself, Agnes said. Were you not able to find other places that are able to accommodate for things like this? Phoenix asked, then realized. Oh, right. You're a kid. Of course. Well, maybe this gas station has something that you can take as food. Or something, I don't know. Well, I was running away from a bad situation, and I didn't stop until now, I guess. Whatever it is, I don't believe it stops here. This is only a resting place. This neighborhood has gone silent for God knows why, which is why I'm now roaming around as well, looking for any people struggling. This may be a really strange thing to ask, but may I please stay with you? I don't know much around this place ever since I ran from home, but I feel like I could trust you. Normally, Phoenix tried to make their life harder than it already was, but they knew better than to just leave a kid to fend for themselves. I'm not exactly heading back to where I stay at. I need to find my parents to see if they're still alive. But I suppose you can accompany me. I'd hate to leave you alone in an environment such as this. Short answer. Sure. Thank you so much. I can't wait to tell my friend about this. Phoenix knew that these next few days were going to be the most restless days they've ever had. They quickly pull out their phone to check if anyone's messaged them. They then see that their friend is on and typing. A smile began to grow on their face as they stared at the screen, unaware that Agnes was doing the same. Hey, Phoenix! I found someone that could help me. Maybe some other people aren't so bad after all. But I still need to be careful. Alright. I'm glad to know that you are safe and well. How about you? What's going on where you are? Fine. Nothing's bad's happened so far. Just roaming the streets in search of other people trying to get by. Just met this girl at a gas station, taking her under my wing, and eventually going to find a place to rest in a group. What? I'm at a gas station too. What a coincidence. Well, be fucking for real. Be so for real right now, said Pig. Of the person? Wouldn't that be disrespectful? The gas station. Okay then. What were we doing back then? Be fucking for real. I'm there right now. What? Ethan, are you the girl that's right in front of me? Phoenix looks down at the child. She has her phone out too. Phoenix didn't want to seem creepy with glancing out of their screen, but they were weirded out and stared at her phone. Messages. The messages seems familiar. Maybe. If you're the girl in front of me, then can you look at me or do something? Phoenix stares at her. Agnes looks up at her. I'm staring as a child, straight into her soul. I'm staring at this girl, and she's staring right back at me. She looks like she might kill me. Be so for real right now. This is confusing me out. Is this you? Hey, can I call you? I guess. Phoenix's phone starts ringing. Well, this is awkward. Phoenix declined the call, now looking at Agnes as if this moment were not reality. This was their friend. Their best friend. Their best online friend standing right in front of them. It was surreal. Phoenix wheezed. So wait. Oh my god, I can't deal right now. You need to tell me that you're